Welcome to Learn Training, and in this training we are going to set up your Woocommerce, your e-commerce settings. Now, so what we did was we've done the site setup, we've done profile setup, and we've done the one-click site import in the previous lessons. And to do this, you need a WordPress install and you need a Woocommerce, or you can get a free website at yourzone.website. So let's go ahead and click on Setup Shop. If you want to know where it is on the website, all you have to do is go hover over Shop and then click on Settings. And yeah, let's do that. Let's close these pages. Okay, so first things first, if you are creating a full-blown e-commerce with the shop cart checkout experience where people add products to their cart and then check out, I suggest you running this setup wizard, which will make it a lot easier. If you're only interested in creating a funnel that's going to get you new clients and make a few sales, start selling one product, then you don't need to do that. Just follow what I'm going to teach you here. So go to Settings, General, make sure you're on the General tab, and update your shop address, city, the country, postal code. Which countries are you selling to? It's probably you're selling to the world if you're selling digital countries. If you're just selling to people in your country, make sure you add that, because when people add their shipping address, if they're not in their country, the shop will block them and say, we don't ship to your country. And ship to all countries. Selling location, sell to all countries, ship to all countries. So I would probably set these two to be the same thing. Leave this as is. Don't enable tax rates and calculations at the moment, because if you're just starting out, if you already have all that part down, then absolutely do that. But if you don't and you're just starting out and you're here because you want to set up the supercell funnel, then you don't need to do it. Please don't do that. Do this once you start making money, then you can talk to a lawyer or whatever it is, an accountant, and set this up. I don't advise you to use coupons at the moment, because they will be set up right in the funnel, and people don't need to be using coupons at the moment, especially because if there's a little coupon field, people are enticed to go to Google and search for a coupon that can be used on your website, and you most probably lost the sale, because then they probably won't find a coupon and they'll forget they were on your site and you lost that sale. Update the currency, position, all this stuff. Remember to say save. Once that's done, let's go to products. See what happens here. Remember to say save. It shows that window when I don't say save. So the first things first, it says shop page, and we're not going to be using a shop page. We won't have a shop page unless we want to have that shop cart checkout experience. And in that case, instead of doing this, just go ahead and click on this setup wizard and it'll set up everything for you. Leave these settings as is. Redirect to the cart page after successful addition. No, because as I said, we don't have a shop page. We're going to be using funnels. Leave this as is. Update this if you're selling physical products. If you want to enable reviews, do that. But as I said, we're not going to do that in this training. Go to inventory. If you want to enable stock management, you can. This is more for physical e-commerce that sells physical products, but maybe you want to set management for digital products, which maybe is weird, but maybe you want to say there's only 10 of these and no more, and you can enable that here if you want. Otherwise, I mean, you don't need to set this at all. Let's go to downloadable products. Now, leave this as is. I wouldn't change it at all, but I'll explain it to you for a second. Files, you don't want them to see the file, you want them to download the file on their computer probably. Otherwise, change it here, but this is the safest setting if you want. Downloads require login. That might not have to be, it doesn't apply to guest purchase. Okay, you can say downloads require login, but this setting does not apply to purchase. So leave it as is, man. These settings work, I know they work. And if you want to play around with them, but you have to do a lot of testing if you want. Grant access to downloadable products after payment. That means that usually products right after purchase go into the processing phase. And with this option, any downloadable products will become immediately completed so that the user can download them right away without you having to do anything. So you don't have to send them the downloadable product at all. It's already available to them. Always add this, because if you want to protect your files, your PDFs, this is pretty cool. They won't be able to share URLs and stuff like that. But obviously, once the file is on their computer, they can share it with anyone they want. That's that. Let's go to shipping. Now skip shipping, because we're not going to be using shipping unless you have a full-blown e-commerce. And in that case, as I said, run the wizard. You don't need to set this up at the moment. What we're doing here is creating the super seller funnel. Now payments, it can only be set up once your site is online, because otherwise the payments don't work. There's no way that Stripe or PayPal can access your local site when it's on your computer. If this site is, if you're using our free website online, then go ahead. And but we have the training to set this up after the site goes live. Let's go to accounts and privacy, and I want to explain here what we should do. So if you are just let's say creating a funnel to sell digital products, and the user does not have access to any type of backend account or membership or stuff like that, you don't need these settings. All you have to do is say allow customer to place orders with an account, and deselect all these. What happens is that if you do want the user to have access to a backend, then you want to allow the user to log into an existing account during checkout, because if they already create an account, they should be able to log in when they're on checkout. If they haven't already, you want to allow the users to create an account during checkout, and you want maybe if they access the My Account page, maybe they can create an account there. But these two options are pretty cool, because if this is activated, then even if they don't have an account, they will automatically the site will automatically create an account username and an account password for them, so they don't have to manually do that. If they were to manually do that every time, you might lose some sales, because people just get tired. I'm like, whatever, I'm leaving. But to avoid all that, just click on allow customers to place orders without an account, and remove these. This is more for legal purposes. If you want to stay on the safe side, then click these. All these three things. This is the registration privacy policy message. This is the checkout privacy policy message. Update that if you want. This will print the link to your privacy policy page. As I said, you don't need this at the moment. If you've not made any sales, don't worry about this, or start worrying about this when you start making sales. Call someone that knows about this. Save changes, and let's go to emails, which is also an important part. So basically, these are all the emails that are going to be sent out when events happen on your shop or on your purchasing experience. What we want to do is update these email addresses, because otherwise we will be getting your email. So go ahead and click on Manage on these 4 areas, and I'll show you what to do. Once the page opens, I would enable all the notifications, because they're all important. Update with your email address, and then just say Save Changes. Do that for all 4 of these, and then what you can do is update this to the name of your website, or whoever is the sender of the email address. So maybe you want to give a personal touch. You might want to say, in my case, I would say Marco from your zone websites, or something like that. Make it a little more personal, or maybe your last name, stuff like that. Update the email address, the sender, otherwise it's going to look like it's sending for us. If I can give you a little tip here, create an email address that has the same domain name as the domain of your website. So maybe you already have a domain, you already bought it, and what you do is just create like info or help or support at yourdomain.com, or whatever your domain is, because that way it's less likely to end up in spam. And let's have a preview of the email template. This is what the email templates look like at the moment. And I suggest you to update this. This is our footer text. If you want the footer text to show the site title, just keep this little snippet and delete the rest. Okay? Update the base color. That will update this. This color is the background color, which is this. This is the body color and this is the text color. You don't need to select this. Once you're done, obviously you click save, and let's go ahead to, you don't need to check out integration. Let's see advanced for a second. Okay, so here basically what happens is you set up the cart page, the checkout page, my account page, terms and conditions, etc. And if you want to do this, then you probably should have clicked here to run a setup wizard, because it's much easier to just click this. It'll take care of everything, and it'll set these pages up for you according to what you tell it. And you don't need to update these settings at all. Please leave them as is, otherwise you might have problems. Remember to click save changes. You don't need to have access to these. This is more advanced stuff that you don't need to have access to. Let's go ahead and go to checkout, which basically is an editor for your checkout. Usually the checkout form is too long, asks too much information, and this could lower your conversion rate, your sales. So what we did was we added this section so you could remove areas from your checkout. Otherwise, you would be having billing company, billing address, billing city, billing state, billing postcode, billing phone. But we don't have this because what we're doing is we're simply selling digital products. We don't need this information. The more information you put in, the more friction you create for the buyer. Actually, if you want, you can even remove one of these. I like having first name and last name, because if you don't want to give me your first name and last name, then maybe we shouldn't be working together. But let's say that you don't care about this. What you would do is you would remove the required from last name. You would disable it because you don't want it to be shown. And then this probably would not be first name anymore. You would just want to call it name. Leave that. Don't change that. In fact, I don't think you can, but just change this and say name. And then say save, and you're good to go. And then on your checkout page, which, oh, what happened? Oh yeah, close. We have to click this. Yeah, it closed. Okay. So what happens is on your checkout page name, we have to say required. Okay, say save changes. Kind of buggy, I guess. What happens is that on your checkout page, you will only have the name then, which is one less field that the user has to fill in. Shipping, if you're selling physical products, you will probably want to add it here. Then if you want, look at all these ones, but you don't need to, because we have set them up already for you for our supercell funnel. I think that's it for the e-commerce setup. Now we can go ahead and start working on the actual supercell funnel. And see you on the next lesson.